Really a 6.2-mile race.
Marty, there's been a change in the course. How is that going to affect competition?
Continue a maturing process and take big steps forward in competitions like this. Very short time ago, our cameras visited Moore in Monessen, Pennsylvania.
Walking in the snow with the crisp crackling sound upon the mountaintop and in the valley below. You witness something great, like a cotton-covered world. You wish you were a part of it, falling from the sky. But then you stop to think, why?
The gentle rhythms of scholastic poetry are a part of Michael Moore's life, but so too are the violent rhythms of the ring. He has risen to become the United States amateur light middleweight champion, and by doing so has provided a welcome symbol of success amid the vacant steel mills and dormant smokestacks of hard-bitten Monessen, Pennsylvania. This is Michael's senior year at Monessen High School, and he realizes its importance. The cooking class is particularly close to his heart.
Miss Caness, it's 6 ounce.
He has talked to becoming a chef if boxing doesn't work out. Michael is the second of 6 children, and the support of his family helps him to deal with the rigors of a life spent in boxing and in school.
They always giving me courage to go on and things like that, but I say my grandfather would be the best inspiration to me right now, because he's put up with me and he taught me all I know right now.
Michael's grandfather is Henry Smith, an ex-boxer whose ring career, like thousands of others, was cut short by the Second World War. Henry is now Michael's coach and trainer, and his pride in his grandson is the pride any benefactor will express to his inheritor.
Because of my background and my upcoming in my day here, that it makes me feel good that I had enough knowledge and the smarts to bring something out of my own family, out of my own relation, to have somebody that good.
He knows me, and I can say he knows me more than I know myself sometimes. And he just knows what's right and what's wrong, and I go by his word.
It just means a lot to me because I love boxing, you know. And if I can do something good for him, help him, show him the right way to, you know, to get him on his feet someplace so he can, you know, keep up with this world, you know, yeah, in the right way, you know.
So far, Michael has done many of the right things in the ring and in school. With the help of his family, he has earned a bright future. And very soon we will have an indication of how bright his amateur boxing future might be as he faces Orestos Solano. We will return after this commercial, and a word from your local Cuba is the light middleweight 156-pound class bout between Michael Moore of the USA and Orestos Solano of Cuba. A big difference in experience here. Moore, 19 years old. This man, Solano, is 23 years old. Solano with 130 reported amateur bouts under his belt. Moore, a record of 38 and 11 reported in only 49 amateur bouts. He has twice faced Cuban fighters in the U.S.-Cuba junior duel match of 1985. Moore won one and lost one there. The referee is Elmo Adolph of the United States, and Solano comes out firing.
Solano's a very aggressive, awkward opponent, as you can see. He has jumped right on Michael Moore, pinned him in a neutral corner, and he was trying to intimidate this young man right off the bat. Caution from Elmo Adolph to the Cuban for using his elbow in the corner.
And the wild chopping overhand right landed on Moore. So Solano has seized the initiative here at the outset of round one.
And you can see from the pace so far that this fight will be determined by conditioning and strength.
And also, to a certain degree, by Moore's ability to get away from the ropes. He's not going to score much here.
Michael's problem is that although he does an awful lot of things well for such a young... Ooh, big left hand there by Solano. Although Michael does a lot of things well, one thing he does not do well is move, because if you can see on this shot, the size of his feet, he has size 14 feet. For a young man 5 feet 9 inches tall, he just cannot dance around the ring.
Good right hand by Solano. Moore continues to allow himself to be backed up against the ropes and stymied.
He has no leverage whatsoever when he's leaning back on the ropes like that.
Solano is a former Pan American Games and Cuban national champion. In the duel match between these two nations in 1984, he lost a decision to Frank Tate. Later went on to win an Olympic gold medal. Cuban boxers, of course, were not in Los Angeles. This is the boycott of those Olympics by Socialist Bloc nations.
Michael Moore on the right of your screen likes to fight a very well-paced fight where he picks his shots. He just has not been able to find out how to respond to all this aggression that Solano is putting on him right now, the tremendous pressure.
Can barely see. It's as though he's in a dark room. He has been closed in jail against the ropes almost continuously from the outset of the fight. Again, Adolph landed the chopping right hand as he moved in. I say Adolph, I mean, of course, Orestos Solano. If the referee...
Right now, Michael Moore may think that the referee is throwing punches at him also, because they're coming at him from every angle and without cessation.
This has been a very discouraging round for Michael Moore of the United States. Has a chance to keep alive an American chance in the competition.
Michael Moore said he wanted international experience. Right now, I think he's getting a little bit more than he would like.
Presentation of how one-sided round one was in the Solano-Moore fight. Moore just nowhere in the vicinity of the fight. And as round two begins, the same pattern as Solano forces Moore against the ropes and begins to bang away.
Second caution from El.
Here's what Pat Nappy said to Michael Moore between rounds, Alex.
Don't move, stage bag. Move to the side. Make sure that he's in the center of the ring and you can shoot him all day long. Okay?
Hasn't happened yet.
While we were playing that Pat Nappy soundbite, Elmo Adolph, the referee, cautioned Solano for the second time. One more caution, that will be a point deduction, a warning.
At this rate, he might be able to afford it. 5 judges scoring the bout. Again, if you are unfamiliar with amateur boxing and have joined us since the beginning of the show, they are looking for the number of blows which land on behalf of each puncher.
As Pat Nappy pointed out, these are not punishing blows from Solano, but they are overwhelming Moore. They're just not letting him do anything to get into this fight.
Good left hand by Moore, his best punch of the bout, in the middle of the ring.
We saw Moore come through with the right hand, too. He is a southpaw in boxing. He is right-handed in everything else he does. That would indicate that he might have good power in his right hook. Once again, the pattern repeats itself. Back on the ropes. Pat Nappy asked Michael Moore for movement to the side. I'm just not sure, for the reasons we talked about in round one, that Michael's capable of it.
Size 14 feet has failed him so far. He has demonstrated clearly that when he gets some ring space and is able to move Solano around, then he can land punches. And now Solano is backing up.
For the first time in the fight, Michael Moore put together a series of punches that backed up Solano. I don't know if Solano is starting to wind down or if he just needs to catch his breath. He's thrown a tremendous number of punches.
The problem for Moore is that we are now approaching the end of round 2. And if he has in fact lost the first 2 rounds, which would certainly appear to be the case to this point, it would be very difficult for him to mount a comeback and win.
Good right-left combination by Solano.
And once again, with open space, Moore begins to score. Solano ties him up. Solano is the tireder fighter. Stats for round number 2, showing a slight improvement by Michael Moore as they enter round 3. Orestos Solano is an old familiar figure on Cuban national boxing teams. He had been overshadowed for the past 2 years by Angel Espinosa in this weight category. But Espinosa, as you will see in a later bout, has moved up and made a way for Solano to come back. Right now, Moore is the man who's trying to come back in this bout.
Solano is tired, and Moore is showing he has a lot of heart and a lot of determination and a lot of strength. He has to do an awful lot to win this fight, though. I thought he lost both the first 2 rounds by more than 1 point.
I agree with you. He's trying to take advantage now of the fact that he does have more left than Solano. But now Solano has reestablished the early pattern.
And there's the warning. That's a recommendation by elbow Adolph. The third caution for elbowing means the point deduction. The judges, the 5 judges at ringside can either, he just elbowed again, by the way. The 5 judges at ringside can accept that recommendation by the referee and deduct that point. They do not have to.
Solano just leaning in. He knows exactly how he has piled up the scoring margin in the bout.
Pat Nappy screaming at Michael Moore to move to the side.
And now there's no side to move to. Elmo Adolph helped Moore out a little bit.
You see Michael's heart. It just has not been enough. He's a coming fighter.
Solano's physical dominance.
Michael Moore is a coming fighter. It's just apparent that he's not there yet. It's also apparent that this is the absolute worst kind of style fighter for Moore. The guy who sits on him is in his face the whole fight. He has been much more impressive in winning the U.S. title against boxers.
And as we pointed out, in terms of experience, it is to a certain degree a boy against a man.
So typical of the Cuban team. Here they have Espinosa move up 1 weight category. And who do they have waiting in the wings? The 1983 Pan American champion, Orestos Solano. There's the Cuban teammates of Solano cheering him on right behind us.
Both boxers trying to mount a big finish. Moore getting some space and some room in which to score. Mouthpiece out on the canvas.
That's Solano's mouthpiece. When he fought Tate in that fight, 1984, you referenced, Jim, he spit out his mouthpiece every time he needed a rest. In fact, spit it out 6 times in that fight. The clock is stopped right in the final seconds of this bout. But he's very clever, Solano. Every time he needs a rest, when he thinks he's in danger, out comes that mouthpiece.
A lot of punching after the ring, and Moore isn't happy about it. Moore will remember that. Orestes Solano of Cuba, Michael Moore of the USA will be back with the decision right after this. And we are back in Lake Charles, Louisiana. You look at the punch count statistics in the Solano-Moore bout. And the winner. The relatively equal percentages, the numbers seem to make it obvious. And indeed, Solano is the winner over Michael Moore, and that clinches the dual match victory for the nation of Cuba, which now has won 6 matches to only 3 for the United States. So for the 12th consecutive time in dual matches between these two nations, the Cuban boxers have prevailed, Alex, and we spoke earlier about their superiority and their preeminence as the #1 amateur boxing team in the world. The question must arise, why can a nation of only 10 million people, the fact that